Hello, welcome to Zigmatech Learning Hub. I will be your instructor for chemistry. For this class, we are going to be taking our exercises from the ExamGuide app. If you don't have the application already installed on your device or on your phone, I will want you to download the app in order to follow along in this class. ExamGuide is a leading educational app that helps students prepare adequately for various exams like UTME, post-UTME, WEAC, JCE, KCPE, IJMB, JUPEB, KCPE, BECE, JSCE, NCEE, NECO, etc. You can download the app from www.examguide.com or Google Play Store. Please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to be updated on new videos. Ready for today's class? Okay, let's get started. Today, I guess is the first time we are going to meet, and I'm going to take you on the Introduction to Chemistry Part 1. Introduction to Chemistry Part 1. Now, the objectives, by the end of this lesson, you will know the meaning and definition of chemistry, why we study chemistry, the importance of chemistry in our everyday lives, and the parts of chemistry. And the parts of chemistry. Now, meaning of chemistry. Chemistry, be it as it may, is gotten from two words, chem and misterare. Chem is a Samaritan Greek word that means science, while misterare is a Latin word that means mystery. In essence, chemistry becomes the mystery of science. Now, science is gotten from the Latin word scientia, that means knowledge. So, if chemistry is the mystery of science, and science means knowledge, that means to say chemistry is the mystery of knowledge. So in essence, everything you know is surrounded by chemistry. As knowledge is the building block of man's psychological living, so chemistry is the building block of man's psychological living. Because chemistry tells you about everything in life. Everything in life. Now, knowledge, like I said, is everything you know. Okay? Now, God is called omniscience because he's all-knowing. All-knowing. That's why it's called omniscience. Because science means knowledge. Okay? In essence, God is omnichemistry. Why? Because science is the knowledge, and the knowledge is chemistry. Now, this chemistry is telling us about everything about matter. And matter is everything in the world. In essence, chemistry is telling us about everything in the world. So without chemistry, the existence of the world will not be played. Because even the person that created the world is a scientist. Because it's called the meaning science. And this science is knowledge. Everything you know in life is surrounded to knowledge. Why? Because you cannot know what you don't understand. What you don't understand, you don't know. And what you don't know, you cannot apply. In essence, knowing, understanding something means knowing it. And applying what you know becomes wisdom. So chemistry is wisdom in nature. It's telling you about everything in life. It talks about matter. And in essence, matter is the building block of everything in life. That's why chemistry is the building living of life. So, if you do not have this conception of knowledge, then that means you're not alive. Because Albert Einstein said, the day you stop learning, that day you stop dying. You start dying. In essence, the day you stop getting knowledge, that day you start dying. The day you stop getting chemistry, that day you start dying. Because chemistry itself is knowledge. That is the mystery of knowledge. Now, like I said, it talks about matter. And matter is everything in the world. Matter is made up of, is the building block of everything in the world. A man, human beings are matter. They are particles that make them up. Everything in life occupies space. So in essence, they are matter. Everything in life is a matter. And the thing that talks about this everything in life is chemistry. Now, every word in chemistry has a meaning. When we talk about the meaning, you sit down and put your head down to see if anything is missing in that line of chemistry. Now, the first one talks about community. Community. How do you relate with your community? Remember, in your community, relating with people, that's what it means. How do you relate with people? Now, relating with people means some people will get you angry and some will make you happy. Okay? Now, chemistry is going to teach you the wisdom, like I said. Applying what you know is wisdom. Now, wisdom is knowing what to avoid. When you know what to avoid is wisdom. So now, who will give you that knowledge of knowing what to avoid is chemistry. That knowledge that you to know what to avoid is chemistry, because chemistry means knowledge. Now, the second one is health. Health. How do you keep yourself healthy? I told you chemistry is everything. How do you keep yourself healthy? What kind of food do you eat? Now, they told you that carbohydrate, rice is carbohydrate. It's the knowledge you got. That knowledge for you to know that rice is carbohydrate is chemistry. Because the knowledge itself is chemistry. Now, they told you that fruits are vitamins. Getting this knowledge is chemistry. Now, how do you keep yourself healthy? Some doctors will tell you drink water in the morning. When you get up, do some exercises and so on. All these things are tantamount to them teaching you. Now, once they are teaching you, that means to say they are letting you know something. And that knowing, that knowledge you're getting is the chemistry we're talking about. The next one is environment. How do you relate with your natural environment? How do you exchange gases? How do you breathe in and breathe out? Okay, these gases is in chemistry. These gases are just chemistry. Okay, when we go further, you know that these things are chemistry, because the element that you're breathing in, oxygen, is under chemistry. Elements is an element. So every single thing you portray, when you come anything you come across in life is surrounded by knowledge, and that knowledge is the mystery, and that mystery of the knowledge you're getting is the chemistry that you know. Now, medicine. We'll get to the advantages of chemistry, and you know how medicine becomes an advantage. You take medicine in treating yourself. You go and meet a doctor. Okay? You meet a doctor, and a doctor will prescribe medications for you to take. Now, those medicines, as a result of chemistry, you know the part of chemistry. There's a part of chemistry called organic chemistry. Those things, those things, they use those things in making medicine. Organic materials, natural materials, herbs sometimes in making medicines. And these medicines, these organic materials are under the science called chemistry. Now, industry, I means industry. In essence, chemistry enhances the creation of industries. Knowledge enhances the creation of industries. Chemistry. You know, we have so many industries. Okay, and those industries are created basically because of chemistry. Basically because of the knowledge people had. The next one is sciences. I told you that chemistry is gotten from two words, chem and mysterare. In essence, the mystery of science comes to play when chemistry came to existence. Now, chemistry existed with God. Why? Because God himself is wisdom. As I said, you cannot know what you don't understand. What you don't understand, you don't know. And what you don't know, you cannot apply. In essence, applying what you know is the wisdom. And this is a science you're talking about. Domain is science. In essence, domain is chemistry, like I said. Now, there's no science course, or there's no science thing you want to do that does not involve chemistry. Nothing in life that does not involve chemistry. Because science is what makes the world evolve. It's what makes the world to move further. It what gives the world a shape. Discoveries and so many things gives the world a shape. It makes our life worth living. It makes our life easy. Okay, now this science that makes our life easy is the chemistry itself, like I said. Now science means knowledge. So in essence, everything you know is surrounded by chemistry. Teaching, the transferring of the metamorphosis of knowledge from one person to another. What I'm doing now, I'm doing chemistry because I'm transferring the metamorphosis of knowledge from me to you. First of all, how do I transfer it? I'm first of all know. When I know, I'll now transfer. In essence, that me knowing is chemistry because chemistry means knowledge from the word science. Now research. Chemistry exposes you to research. It exposes you to research. Scientists do research. Okay, scientists do what? Research. Now those people that are inside the field of science are called scientists. And before they bring out the law, they must have to do research, chemistry. They must have to acquire knowledge. Okay, when we get to introduction part 3, when we get to introduction part 3, you will know how scientists work. You understand what I mean? So when this research comes, they give us researches. Most of the things you use are done by researchers. The plate, the spoon, everything you use was researched before it was brought out. Now, for you to get the knowledge of researching is chemistry. When I tell you "bo" in my language, I mean come. In essence, for you to know what "bo" means, you must have to know what come means. Because if you don't understand what come means, and I tell you "bo" is come, you still get confused. So, for you to research, you must have to know, and that knowing is chemistry. The last one is you. I leave that for you to answer. Now, definition of chemistry. Definition of chemistry. I know people will say chemistry is the composition and this of matter and so on and so forth. Yes. But this is a constructive definition of chemistry. Constructively. Chemistry is the science that deals principally with the properties of substances, the changes they undergo, and the natural laws that describe these changes. Chemistry is the science. Some books and people will tell you that chemistry is a branch of science. It is not a branch. It is the science. It is the knowledge that you acquire from dealing with substances. Everything in life is a substance. So, chemistry is the science that deals principally with the properties of substances, the characteristics of substances. How do we know these substances? The changes they undergo. Is it physical? Is it chemical? And the natural laws that describe these changes. A law is a fact that cannot be disputed. In essence, chemistry gives you a fact of these substances in life that cannot be disputed. Now, what are these substances? They are matter. Because everything in life is a matter. These substances are matter. Whether living or non-living. How you relate to them matters a lot. Either living things or non-living things are all matter. How you relate to them matters a lot. The changes these things undergo matter a lot. Now, the phenomenon that will tell you about how these things move, how these things operate, both the living and the non-living things is chemistry. Because substances there is a matter, and matter is non-living and living. A human being is a matter. He occupies space. A plant is a matter. It occupies space. A goat is a matter. It occupies space. A chair is a matter. It occupies space. In essence, chemistry principally tells you about the characteristics of living things and non-living things. Because substances there are matter. And the changes these living things undergo and non-living things undergo. And the law that binds these living things and non-living things. The characteristics, their differences, everything about substances, everything about matter, chemistry is what will tell you the history and the properties of them. Now the next one said why we study chemistry. Why we study chemistry. It is a central science. In essence, it's a central knowledge. Knowledge is the building block, like I said, of man's existence. It's the building block of man's existence. Even a madman has knowledge, because a madman knows that if he wants to come and take your garri, he wants to come and take your property, he's going to come in a cunning manner to take it. He knows that, because he knows that you will not like it coming to take. In essence, even a madman is knowledgeable. It's only a dead person that does not have knowledge. But chemistry will just tell you how that dead person will behave, because that dead person becomes a non-living thing and is occupying a space in the mortuary, in the coffin. So the central science is a central knowledge. Everything in life is surrounded is surrounded with chemistry. Everything in life is surrounded with chemistry. Because if chemistry is a mystery of science and it's a central science, that means to say this is a central knowledge. That knowledge is chemistry. It's a central science. It's a central knowledge. Everything you know in life is chemistry. If you know how to eat, it's chemistry. You know how to blow somebody's eye, it's chemistry. You can slap the person, it's chemistry. Because for you to slap, you must have to know how to slap. In essence, you must have to see somebody slapping, or they taught you how to slap. So in life, we learn in two ways. We acquire knowledge in two ways. We acquire chemistry in two ways, either by experience or by example. Either by experience or by example. This is how we acquire knowledge, and this is how you can acquire chemistry. That's why chemistry is shared by experience, theoretically, by example, practically. We'll get there. Now, the second one is the central of our existence. Central of our existence. I told you knowledge is the central of man's existence. Without knowledge, man cannot live very well. Because we believe in a life. He does not know anything. It's a serious problem. It's like a boy going to school and he always fails. It's a matter. That's a serious problem. So it's the center of our existence. Without this knowledge, man cannot live comfortably. That is why Albert Einstein said, the day you stop learning, that day you start dying. Because your existence will be shortened the day you stop learning. In essence, it means that the day you stop acquiring knowledge, that day you start dying. And there's the problem in life. People feel they've learned too much. No. They say where you stop, now another person will start. So where you feel you've learned, another person will start from there. That's why the Bible says you can go and people perish for lack of knowledge. And the Quran added it again and said you can go as far as Chi in acquiring knowledge. Chi is China. China is very far. So in essence, there is no religion that does not support chemistry. Now the next one is the chemistry is everywhere. Anywhere you go, you learn. Anywhere you go, you face learning. Anywhere you go, you face. It's everywhere. The knowledge is everywhere. So if chemistry, why they say chemistry is everywhere? Because the Omni science is everywhere. Omni science is everywhere. Don't be confused, okay? The chemistry is leading us to the creator. Okay, the chemistry is leading us to the word creator. Because it is God that is the first chemist. And no religion will tell me that it does not accept knowledge. So anywhere you go, chemistry is there. God created everything. In essence, anywhere you go, knowledge is everywhere. Because he himself is the knowledge and wisdom. Now, transferable skills. Before I will transfer a skill to you, I must have to know that skill. Okay? Before you call me to come and repair your generator, I must have to know how to repair a generator. In essence, I am transferring my skill to you and repairing your generator. Now, I first of all got the knowledge of repairing a generator and I transferred it to you. The difference is that you're paying me for my services. You too will come and repair my own fridge. And you transfer it to me too in the of a fridge. Now, the next one is creative thinking. Creative thinking. Creative thinking means reasoning. There's a difference between thinking and reasoning. Thinking gives you sickness, high blood pressure. But creative thinking, reasoning, makes you have to solve a problem. That's why in science, we do not think of the problem, we think of the solution. In science. And Albert Einstein said something. Albert Einstein, he said, education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. When you train your mind in thinking, okay, you give yourself a creative thinking. That means it will end up in reasoning on how to solve a solution. A science man thinks 2 minutes ahead of others in the world. Because as you're thinking of this thing backwardness, I am thinking of how to go further immediately. If I get home, okay, and my food got soured, and I'm very hungry, I'll not be sitting down thinking of the food that got soured. Start crying. No, I'll think of how to go and find food and eat. Simple, I've solved my problem. So chemistry makes you think ahead of others in the world. Okay? It makes you think of a solution, not a problem. Not a problem. That means, and as you're giving a creative thinking, it makes you a wise man. Because I said, a wise man knows what to avoid. Now, when I get to the house, like I said, and my food got sour, I've avoided it already. Immediately, I'm going to look for what to eat. Simple. The next one means it improves the world. Science improves the world. It makes the world go round. Today, there was no phone. There was no phone before. Today, there is a phone. It has improved the world. There was no car. Today, there is a car. We know from the advantages of chemistry how chemistry improved the world. Now, the next one is the importance of chemistry in our everyday lives. If you check on the picture, okay, you'll see chemical reactions. We have photosynthesis that gives us food. We have cooking that makes the food okay for us to eat. We have combustion that gives us light. We have digestion that gives us energy. And we have aerobic respiration that makes us breathe. I repeat, this is the importance of chemistry in our everyday life. Okay? We witness photosynthesis that gives us food. It's chemistry. We have cooking that makes the food okay for us to eat. We have combustion, okay, that gives us light to see the food we want to eat. Then we have digestion after eating. After eating, it gives us energy. And we have aerobic respiration for us to breathe. In essence, all these things we see in our everyday life. This is what we witness every day. And this is the importance of chemistry, because when we eat, it is a reaction. Okay? And every reaction is chemistry. Cooking is a reaction. Okay? Because the food will pass through the tools and turns. The food will come. Okay? See and conquer. Because it will pass through heat. They will flog in very well until we're going to get soft for us to eat. So these things you see on the screen are what we witness in our everyday lives. And these are the importance of chemistry. Now, parts of chemistry. Parts of chemistry. The first one is analytical chemistry, physical chemistry, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and nuclear chemistry. We'll talk about them one after the other. Okay? Talk about them one after the other. The first one is analytical chemistry. Analytical is the study and use of instruments and methods to identify, separate, and quantify matter. Now, you analyze by using instruments. You analyze by using instruments. Methods to identify, separate, and quantify matter. Matter there means anything. Anything at all. Let's say, for example, a sickness. You have malaria. For them to identify the malaria, they must have to use an instrument in doing you a test. When they do a test, that is when they will know that you have malaria. That matter of malaria is quantified. Malaria is a matter. For information, malaria occupies space because it is formed by the plasmodium, and plasmodium occupies space. In essence, if you have malaria, okay, the malaria has occupied your body as malaria. The malaria has occupied your body as malaria. You will not get cholera again. So the malaria has occupied your body as malaria. So you must have to use that instrument, okay, to analyze. In essence, it is the instrument that will make you know the kind of sickness that somebody has gotten. In chemistry, we have practicals. When we finish our theoretical aspect, we will go and analyze it practically. Using of instruments means you're doing practicals. So the analytical chemistry tells us on how to use practicals to identify things that happens in the world. Now the next one is physical chemistry. Physical chemistry is the study of physical changes associated with chemical reactions and the relationship between physical properties and chemical properties. The physical changes associated with chemical reaction. A chemical reaction is a reaction that leads to the transformation of a set of certain substances to another. A chemical reaction is a reaction that leads to the transformation of a set of certain substances to another. While a chemical composition are just the things that are composed to be transformed. Okay, those what they call it, those elements, those properties, those substances that come together to face the chemical reaction are called chemical composition. When we get to the when we get to chemical combination, you understand what I'm saying constructively. So it's the study of physical changes associated with the chemical reactions. Now those physical changes, what do I mean? Water is formed by two gases. We know that hydrogen and oxygen are gases. These are their physical property. These are physical characteristics. Okay? These are physical characteristics. They now changed to another physical characteristic called liquid, water. In essence, the study of this physical change, okay, that leads to the chemical change is physical chemistry. In essence, you will know, physical chemistry will let you know the two things that came together to form another thing. Physical, what you're saying. You brought corn and millet, bring it together, and you did a KCPE. They are physical properties, they are physical chemistry. Because it will allow you to know things. Now, this physical chemistry will allow you to do PAP. It will enhance you doing soap, liquid soaps, because you're bringing things together physically. But when the product is formed, it becomes chemical. Okay? But you brought physical things together to be transformed to chemical. That is what physical chemistry is. I call chemistry a miracle. That's what I call chemistry. Chemistry is a miracle. Because it is somehow spiritual and magical. When two things will change and turn to a different thing. So this is what physical chemistry tells you. Now the one is organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is a scientific study of the structure, properties, composition, reaction, and synthesis of organic compounds that by definition contain carbon. In essence, every single natural item contains carbon. Chemistry tells you about natural things. Things that are natural, living things. I told you chemistry talks about the living things and the non-living things. The organic chemistry is the living things, are the living things. Now it tells you of the structure. You know the shape. What shape does it have? The characteristics. What are inside? What is composed of? The process and the reaction. It is the process that leads to it is the process that leads to what? A reaction. Now, this organic chemistry tells you about natural things. Every natural thing contains carbon. Anything that is natural contains what? Carbon. Either plants or animals. These are the two natural things in life. They are living things. Plants and animals contains what? Carbon. Now, it's going to tell you the structure, the characteristics, what is composed of, how does it react. That's what the organic chemistry tells you about. Now, the next one is inorganic chemistry, non-living things. Deals with the synthesis and behavior of inorganic compounds, things that are non-living. You bring hydrogen and oxygen, bring it together, you form water. It's a non-living thing. Okay? Now, what will tell you about the non-living thing is chemistry itself and organometallic compounds. Organometallic compounds are compounds that are composed of the reaction between carbon and a metal. Carbon and a metal. In essence, it's telling you that carbon and a non-living thing, a living thing coming together with a non-living thing to form another substance. Inorganic chemistry will tell you that. Now the next one is nuclear chemistry. Nuclear chemistry deals with the study of the composition of the atomic nucleus, nuclear forces, nuclear reactions, and radioactive materials. Now this nuclear chemistry talks about the atom, the center part of an atom called the nucleus. Okay, this is just an introduction. It's just a prelude. You're going to know details when I talk about the particles of matter atom. So this deals with the composition of the atomic nucleus. What is composed of the atomic nucleus? The nuclear forces, okay, that comes out from the atom. Anything about nuclear talks about the atom. Everything about the nuclear talks about the nucleus of an atom. Whether nuclear chemistry, nuclear reaction, anything you hear nuclear talks about the nucleus of an atom. The nucleus of an atom is the center part of an atom. Okay, and the radioactive materials. Now this atomic nucleus is the center part of an atom. Nuclear forces are the forces that comes out from the center part of an atom. Okay, then they say it's all about what happens in the nucleus of an atom. I told you, like I said. Now in nuclear chemistry, neutrons bombard other atoms to force them to split apart. Now when they split apart, it's fission. When they come together, it's fusion. Okay, this is only time that nuclear reaction will occur. When the neutron bombard other atoms and force them to split apart, that's the only time nuclear reaction will occur. So the next one now, let's know what fusion and fission is. Fission is when one atom splits into two new atoms and releases energy in form of heat. Let's take for example the fireworks. When you shoot a fireworks, particles comes out. Those particles are atoms. Okay, those particles are atoms. Now, when they split out, as you can see on the screen, when they split out, the particles that comes out will be hot if they touch you. In essence, they release an energy in form of what? Heat. Those particles will be hot when they touch you. Now, that particular place that they're coming out from is the nucleus of an atom. You know that very well, like I said, when we get to the particles of atom. Now, fusion is when two atoms join together. In essence, they join together in two ways. Before you shoot the fireworks, they are together. And after the shooting, they might still come together in the air. So any which one is called fusion. Any which one is called fusion. So now the next one is nuclear reaction. Nuclear reaction. We talked about nuclear reaction in nuclear chemistry. Now, nuclear reaction is a process by which the nucleus of an atom is changed by being split apart or joined with the nucleus of another atom. So in essence, when these two things, without the fission and fusion, nuclear reaction cannot take place. The atoms must be together. Then the bombarding will come for them to scatter. In essence, you can see the nuclear reaction is a process by which fusion and fission occur. Simple. Because fission is being splitting. Fusion, they are together. So you can say nuclear reaction is a process by which fission and fusion occur. Simple. So take note. Now, this particular nuclear reaction are on radioactive materials. The nuclear reaction, the materials that undergo nuclear reaction are called radioactive materials. Now, is any material containing unstable atom that emits ionization radiation as it decays. As it decays. Radiation is the emission or transmission of energy in form of waves and other particles through a material medium. Radiation, ionizing means it has charges. That's one of ionizing. So charged radiation. Now, radiation, like I said, is the transmission or emission of energy in form of waves and other particles through a material medium. So any material that emits radiation as it decays. Now, what does it mean? Decay, as it's coming, it is losing its strength. Now, this particular nuclear reaction are being done by radioactive materials like potassium, uranium, and thorium. Now, for radiation, okay, what the instrument used in detecting radiation is the Giga-Muller counter. The Giga-Muller counter. That's what they use in knowing the presence of radiation. Now, what is the radioactive decay? Okay, like we talk about decay, there is a process by which an unstable nucleus loses energy by radiation. So as it's coming, it's losing energy because radiation passes through the medium. Okay, and it's passing through the medium, it's going to scratch the medium via friction, and we know that friction causes tear and wear. As you're moving with your shoes, your shoe is losing energy by decaying, by getting what they call it, by getting rotten and so on and so forth, because of friction. Two things coming together. So as this radiation is coming, as these atoms or nucleus is a process by which a unstable nucleus, in essence, the nucleus of an atom center loses energy. Why? Because as it's coming as radiation, it's going to have a decay, it's going to have a rotting. Thank you very much. We've gone to the end of this particular section. But before we leave, we use our exam guide as a backup to what we have learned so that you know exactly what you have learned. Now, let's go to 2013, question 18. 2013, question 18. Question 18 says, which of the following statements about nuclear reaction is correct? The statement about nuclear reaction is correct. I told you nuclear, anything here about nuclear talks about the center part of an atom, which is the nucleus. Anything talk about nuclear, anything here nuclear talks about the center part of an atom, which is the word nucleus. Now, first one is involves neutrons only, no? Takes place inside the nucleus. That is the answer. Okay, I told you anything here about nuclear is inside the nucleus of an atom, which is the center part of the atom. So the answer is B. Now the next one says in 2013, still 2013, question 1. Question 1. They say, which of the following instruments is used in detecting the presence of radiation? I just told you now before we entered into this question. The cathode ray tube, no. I told you the Giga-Muller counter. That is what we use in knowing the presence of radiation. The mass spectrometer is used in calculating the mass of molecules and atoms. So the answer is Giga-Muller counter. That's what we use in detecting the presence of radiation. Thank you for participating in today's class. You can practice more questions using the ExamGuide app. The app scores and gives a detailed explanation of all the questions at the end of your practice test. You can learn a particular topic of interest with different modes like study mode, mock mode, and practice mode. It also has other features that make learning fun. It is a must-have for all serious students. Download from www.examguide.com if you don't have it yet. See you in the next class. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell and share the videos to people that will benefit from it. Bye.